So PolyUnity was founded in 2018 by 3 Canadian medical doctors, myself and my 2 co-founders, with a mission to provide a positive global impact on health. We are a creative partner who collaborates with healthcare professionals to see problems differently and provide solutions with innovative tools. So this is a little bit different than all the other presentations that were here today, which were a lot of point-of-care stuff, anatomy-based, pre-surgical planning. What we really are attacking here is actually end-use parts in hospital. So the vision here is to empower passionate healthcare providers to reimagine better outcomes. And we do this by partnering with healthcare organizations and use agile manufacturing to provide efficient and less expensive solutions that reduce their frustrations. So we're trying to reimagine supply chains here. And this is very interesting because it's actually occurring in every industry on earth right now, whether we like it or not. And it seems like medicine is just lagging a little bit behind. So when we see aerospace and automotive, oil and gas, these big industries, they're really moving towards digital twinning, digital inventory, and just trying to make supply chains more efficient and resilient. So the traditional way of doing this was expensive, took lead time, a lot of dependencies and nodes and middlemen along the way. But agile manufacturing as a service provides a digital product catalog, local production hubs, and on-demand production. And just to clarify, I know everybody sees this future coming, but we were moving from prototypes on 3D printing into molds and tools, which would allow end-use parts. But obviously, the technology is moving in a direction where end-use parts directly off a printer is coming fast and furious at us. And I think this is the market that we're really trying to tap into here and use 3D printing in the way that I think it will be intended to in the future. So a solution overview. So what do we actually do? So our solution is offering fully managed additive manufacturing as a service platform that consists of 3 main components. The first is a rapid digital product design service right in the hospitals, delivered by our team of expert engineers and designers. And secondly, we house all of those designs in a digital inventory system, which is a cloud-based i3D health portal, which I'll open up and show you a little bit later. And then finally is the manufacturing services. So we connect these services to an advanced digital manufacturing solution using 3D printers and other technologies. This machine here is a really cool one. It's another Canadian manufacturer of 3D printers, which we have recently partnered with and will go along for the ride with us on trying to get these end-use parts into our partnered hospitals. So what we do in a concise way, I suppose, is these 3 points here, and everybody likes these 3 eyes. It just kind of rolls off the tongue very nicely. I saw it on the previous one. So the first thing is we like to innovate. So these are products that don't exist. And we can rapidly and efficiently design new products to solve problems and create new solutions. I'll show an example of that straight in the software afterwards. Improving is, we take a part that exists, maybe it breaks all the time in hospital, and we can reimagine it, reinforce certain parts, make it a better piece, and then improve it. So it's just saving time and money in the procurement pathway in the hospitals. And finally, immortalization. So we take the innovations and we take the improved pieces and we put it into our digital catalog. So all the digital twins exist there and can be manufactured on demand on site where you need them. So the way that we think this is actually impacting healthcare is very interesting. And as Jenny has alluded to, is all of these things come back to the patients and healthcare systems and trying to find some efficiencies that ultimately make everyone's lives better. So we think PolyUnity solution here provides a couple specific healthcare impacts. Like the first and foremost is our solution has shown the ability to improve patient services, lives, and healthcare outcomes, because this has been live in a few hospitals now, and I'll kind of talk about some success stories. Finally, rapid design, digital inventory, digital manufacturing are exponential advancements, and not only for healthcare, but like I said, all other industries on earth. So we might as well move the needle in healthcare too. These innovations can dramatically reduce healthcare supply chain and procurement inefficiencies. And I'll just throw out a little bit of some interesting numbers we've dug into about the environmental impact of healthcare supply chains. So healthcare accounts for 4.4% of global emissions. And if healthcare was a country, it would be the 5th largest contributor in the world with 2 gigatons of CO2 equivalents produced annually. And overall, it is the supply chain that contributes to about 70% of those emissions. And Canada, ranks second in the world in healthcare emissions. So in terms of trying to come up with greener initiatives and decrease a lot of these shipping methods and inefficiencies that exist within supply chains, we think this is an interesting solution. And obviously also we are developed and based in a very socially conscious innovation system. So what sets us apart and how we do this? So first of all, we uniquely address the issues of accessibility to digital inventory and 3D systems. And there are a lot of 3D printers in healthcare labs sitting idly and gathering dust. Some of them in Canada we've talked to, everyone has a 3D printer, but they don't really know what to do with it, or they have thought about some things to try to make on it, but it's not streamlined. So we kind of give the whole package there. Healthcare workers are typically not design engineers or manufacturers, so we actually house people within the facilities that can manage the machines and the ordering systems. And maybe most importantly, our solution facilitates the ability of healthcare workers and organizations to contribute and share their ideas everywhere. So where this is a cloud-based service, one idea from one place that solves a problem goes into our database of parts, which is invisible to all of our partnered hospitals. So with that, I think I'm going to open up a demo here really quickly because a picture says 1,000 words. So are you still seeing this, Jenny?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. So I will log in here, and this is live now. This exists in 2 hospitals in Canada, and each of them are networked and service about 15 hospitals each. So there's about 70 users in here. We've reached about, I'd say about 12 or 15 different departments. And this is just some of the ideas that were brought to us by the hospitals that we have designed and put into our catalog here. So this is everything from, you know, caps and connectors, some basic lab equipment, bed bumpers, replacement parts. But I'll give an example here now as to how we have used this in Newfoundland. So this vial holder tray, this was designed for the vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine specifically. So as I mentioned, we have a very distributed population in Newfoundland and Labrador, and we had a hard time breaking down all of the vaccines into small components that would fit into Credo cubes or freezer cubes to get them to all the little communities. If they tipped over, they would be spoiled. If they dipped below a certain temperature, they'd be spoiled, and we had to get them all over the place. So the CDC asked us if we could kind of rapidly come up with a solution. So given this set of conditions, we designed this vial tray, and it was parametrically generated, so it could be designed and fit into any kind of shape of cube. We brought it to them with a prototype within a couple days. By 2-week mark, they had cleared it for use, and we mass manufactured these and distributed the vaccines all over our province in these little trays. So then we put it up into our software, and now it's here forever. And as they need them, they can use it. Another interesting one from a partnered hospital in Chio, for example, this is just a bed bumper. So a couple of their beds are out of commission. So we just found the appropriate materials, worked with biomedical engineering in the hospital and designed a replacement part for a series of their hospital beds and got them back into service without having to source a relic part. And then a service that we provide to our local hospital, and this is kind of more in keeping with the point of care stuff, is a bolus service. So a scan to print feature where we take the scan of a patient's anatomy, of which the technologist can form the bolus used in radiation therapy to more appropriately direct the medication dosage. This is very interesting for rural health as well, in that the patient would have to travel a huge distance to get to our cancer center. They would have to get a CT scan. They would have to get their face plastered to get the negative, and then you have to make a positive. Very inefficient, lots of travel, lots of inefficiencies. So this just requires the community to do a scan of the face. And we use this as a print-on-demand service for our hospitals for cancer treatment. So the patient only has to make one trip to get their actual radiation. And this is a regularly consumed service where we're living. So we can track orders through this system, an idea intake portal. You scan the QR code, and we've had somebody draw something on a napkin and just submit the picture of what they wanted. And then we have gone through our design iteration cycle and then presented it to them in a few weeks' time. And all of them kind of solving a problem as they need it. So I'll go back to my slideshow here. I could talk about this for a very long time. I've been in this space for 6 or 7 years. I love the idea of end-use parts in hospitals. And I do think we're going to get there. It's been inspiring to see everybody here today with absolutely mind-blowing applications of 3D printing. So honestly, we're looking for really interesting and creative partners to kind of deploy and test our services like this. We know there's going to be hurdles and roadblocks with respect to medical device regulations and warranties and things like this. But these are things that we're actively tackling because I think that's the only way to really figure it out. So if you're interested or think this might fit into one of your affiliated hospitals and you'd like to try out our digital inventory and on-demand printing services, please reach out to me. Happy to talk.